Welcome to KDKP Noire. I'm K Noire. We're back and we're busy this weekend, guys. It is a fun-filled, busy weekend here at KDKP Noire. So let's get into it. Today, we're talking all kinds of things like Coachella and Cha Eun Woo and NCT's Taeyang and so much more. Coachella. This is Coachella's second weekend, and it's been a banger. If you don't know, Coachella has expanded its reach with K-pop artists, and they have brought in some really good K-pop acts. I mean, we've seen, I told you guys last weekend that Jackson came through from GOT7 and gave his solo debut performance at Coachella, and it was a banger. People are still talking about his performance. So, I mean, you've just got to just really just go back and take a look at that one. So, but we also talked about Taemin being the first K-pop Korean solo artist to debut at Coachella as well too. And Taemin really did not disappoint, because if you didn't know, he did a prelude to what he was going to do at Coachella on J-HUD, but he also brought it at Coachella. He debuted 6 new songs. Most of his songs are in English, might I add. I mean, that's a really big bonus for him, being that this is his first U.S., debut at Coachella and his first U.S. album. So I'm excited for him. He's also been named the first K-pop solo male artist to be in the Grammy Museum exhibit. So, I mean, this is huge. That will debut on Memorial Day weekend here in the States on May 25th. So we're excited to see Taemin's art in the Grammy Museum. So that's interesting. And you know what else is interesting too is that he will be there along with one of the people that seemingly people always compare him to, as in the US version, he's the Korean K-pop version. He's in that Grammy Museum with none other than Michael Jackson. So, congratulations, Taemin. Now, at Coachella, we also saw Cat's Eye. Now, I don't really do a lot of reporting on Cat's Eye. It's not because I don't like them, because I love those girls. I think they're cool. But everybody talks about Cat's Eye, so I try to bring you guys a little bit of something different. But they were at Coachella. They did not disappoint either. And everybody was so, anxiously awaiting Manon to come back with them. And it was rumored that she was, but she wasn't. They didn't hold the fans out too long, though. They bought out none other than the girls from Hunter X. And yes, that they did with them was purely epic. And I loved it. And so did the crowd. So did others that we've seen and heard of their reviews. Loved, that performance. Cat's Eye is just really doing big things. They're just a really hard to just kind of pinpoint. People always seem to want to put them in one category, and they're not. They are a global girl group. A lot of people say, well, they're K-pop. Well, they don't classify themselves as only K-pop. They are a global girl group. So we're excited for them. We're happy for their performances. And God, please bring back Manon. Please bring her back. We want to see her. We're rooting for you. Now, that was the reunion of Big Bang. That was huge. That was really huge. People were excited. G-Dragon I saw him enter into the States. And I'm happy that they had the opportunity to reunite here in the States on this stage at Coachella. So that's huge. You need to check out these performances. They're streaming live. You could probably catch them on Vivo. It doesn't say Coachella. It says a desert concert. You can also probably catch them also on Hulu and other platforms. So just get out there and see them and show support for these guys. Really do, because this was a big deal of the expansion of the K-pop movement at Coachella. So we're very happy for that. I'm not going to stop by saying that, because y'all know who kicked that off. The first male group to perform at Coachella, K-pop, was ATEEZ, and the first girl group to perform at Coachella was guess who? Blackpink. So, I mean, these are huge moments. And Hyphen was there last year. People still talking about that performance. So just check them out. Check them out. And speaking of Hyphen, Heesang. Heesang, people couldn't let it go. They were just like, oh gosh, he's still not, coming back and we want him back. But he's really moving on. I mean, moving on. He is debuting as none other than Evan for his solo project. So you need to check that out. I think that he had his own mindset, his own agenda of what he wanted to do, and he's done it. So look for his project to come out. As he said, he's going to debut as Evan. Evan, not Heesang, totally separating himself from Hypen. So check him out. Give him some support. Regardless if you like his decision or not, just support him, please. Moving along to the next thing that we're talking about. On the heels of Mark Lee leaving, which I'm still, falling out over. I mean, I probably laid in the floor like 20 times just hearing that Mark was going to leave it because, again, he's the element in all of that. We also heard Cha Eun was also, ending his contract with SM, but he was still going to continue his group in activities with NCT and Wavy. I think it's been a pivotal moment because it's opened up the conversation, the discussions for, these huge companies to just say we can renegotiate or give these people that have dedicated their life, their music to these companies the opportunity to do something different. So we're going to see how this kind of shakes out going forward because again, there's a lot of movement. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing how this is going to go because the summer's just starting. I have said it and I'll continue to stand on it. This is going to be the summer of K-pop. Yes, it is. So moving right along, I think if we're talking, because I'm all over the place with some stuff today because there's been so much stuff happening. I talked about Cha Eun Woo, and he is actually paid his debt with all the tax evasion, allegations and things and charges that had come against him. He paid I think they said a 20 billion won debt, taking full responsibility and accountability for it, which a lot of people were surprised because they were like, I thought he said that he really didn't, this was not really him. And I thought they said maybe it was his mom or, it was the label. But he's just owned it. So I think with that, you're going to see the goodness of it, but you're also going to see some people that are probably disgruntled by it too, because they're just like, oh, so this was him all along? Mad that, he did. So, with ownership, it can be a double-edged sword. And I think he thought he was doing the right thing, but I think other people see it as, no, that was not right. But at the end of the day, people are calling for him to be moved out of his assignment with the military band because of these allegations, and him taking ownership and saying that, hey, this was me, this was on me. They're calling for his whole assignment in the military to be restructured. Now, I don't know the whole specifics of how that is. I know that sometimes the military band, if you're part of that, it's kind of like an honorary thing, like people are, assigned to do that. There were different members of BTS that did that. And, you see different members of K-pop when they go in, they're assigned to that area, and they're saying that he doesn't have the right to be there. They want him doing something else and something that's not so honorary, just based upon those charges and allegations that he just now owned up to. So this will be interesting to see how that plays out because I like Cha Eun Woo. I mean, I love him acting. I think he's a phenomenal singer from the group Astro. I know that Astro has gone through a lot, with the loss of Moonbin and, a lot of people don't talk about that, but Moonbin was also an actor too. So, there was that K-pop, K-drama aspect, that we see, but Cha Eun Woo has definitely done that and he's done it well. So, we wish him much success in the remainder of his military service, whatever he decides to do. And, whatever he decides to go forth in. So, moving right along. The next thing I want to talk about really is there is La Seraphim. I think they're putting out a new album. It's called Pure Flow. I think this is something that they're working on. I've seen those girls perform, and they always give a good performance, really good performance. And I like La Seraphim. I like Twice. One of my favorite groups is IVE, and I don't know if I've ever said that here on this platform, but and and it's not because of Vicky and Won Young, as some people say, it's because their song. I had a dream about their song, um, and it just moved me. So I really like them, and I'm always rooting for them. I love Islet, and Islet is going to be performing this summer. So here at some of the venues here, I think they're going to be at KCON. So you got a lot to look out for the summer for concerts and girl groups and guy groups and everything. And again, another group you'll see a lot of probably this summer is NCT. Despite the fallout of what going on, their members, one thing about it, their members rotate so much in the other groups. You're going to see them in performances here in the States. They're going to be at KCON too. I think that you'll see that these guys will continue to move as a unit despite the exits. So that's going to be interesting to see because NCT always seems to deliver a great performance, whether it's NCTU, 127, it really doesn't matter. They were talking about, Taeyong with Wavy, and he's going to still continue his group activities. You know, these guys know how to plug and play wherever they need to produce great performances and great music. Speaking of Wavy, one of the other guys that I've seen, and I just fell in love with his acting is Win Win. He is a member of Wavy, NCTU, and NCT 127. I believe he moved throughout those units, but specifically Wavy in general. He is a Chinese member of the group, and I've been watching, several of his C dramas. If you haven't seen him in anything, try looking at him in Sweet Games and try looking at him in Snowfall. You'll recognize him. And great actor, great actor. They left the actual, unit with XO, and they went out and they did, with their own little unit of CBX, and still was having to pay royalties. And it is the label that they went to, or they dedicated so much time into, really didn't do anything for them. And so now they have separated from them and are moving on. So I'm happy that they're separated, and I hope they can get a fresh start into whatever they decide to do. I don't know if you've ever heard of the R&B sensation Anderson .Paak. Well, Anderson .Paak is Black and Korean. A lot of people didn't know that, but he is pairing with Taeyong. I'm talking about NCT again. But they are preparing to put a single out. But Anderson .Paak also has a movie, a parent of a son, of Korean and Black son, that really likes K-pop. So you should actually check that out. I mean, Anderson .Paak is a musical genius. I mean, he can play so many instruments, write music, do things. He recently paired with Mariah Carey on her latest EP, and I'm telling you, this guy is everything. He was with Bruno Mars. They did a stint in Las Vegas. I mean, he's so musically talented. So to hear that he's pairing with Taeyong, I'm excited for what that's going to be. So stay tuned. And to round out this edition of K-pop news now, let's talk about BTS. BTS is still on the top of the charts. I told you guys that Swim is going to get in your head, and it got in a lot of people's heads and a lot of people's hearts. They love that song. But look for those follow-up songs put out, and they are talking about the 2.0. Whew, those dance moves and everything in that. If you look at some of the choreography of some of the covers that people are doing of that song, oh my God, it's crazy. And Hooligan, oh my God. Whew. BTS is doing their own thing. I'm telling you, it is fire from the start for them with this album. I think all those people that said, well, they've got a slow start with Ariana, and how they come back and their return is nothing short of phenomenal. I'm telling you, it is amazing. And They are topping the charts, and I still think they're going to stay on top of the charts as they keep releasing these follow-up tunes. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for joining us today on K-Pop News Now. Until next time.